Morning YouTubers, Andy here, and today I'm going to show you how to replace a tailgate lock actuator on a 2002 Honda CRV. Here is the part number and brand I purchased on Amazon, and I decided to go with an aftermarket replacement part and read a lot of good reviews about this company. Cost me under $30. So the first step to replacing the lock actuator is to remove this tailgate panel. And what I have done first is pull this tab out with like a screwdriver and then unscrew this Phillips head screw and pull this piece out. Next, I used a flathead screwdriver and I went on the side of this area and slowly pried it out until I was able to squeeze my fingers underneath there and slowly pried the door out. As you can see, there are these plastic tabs that hook on that you have to slowly pull out. And you just go all the way around, even underneath. The tightest part to pull out is this area here on the top. There is this tab, as you can see, that's held on really tightly. So, but just be patient and give it a slow, gentle, firm tug. Same thing on this side, the top part, the top edge. Now this is after I went all the way around and loosened up all the tabs underneath. So you go back here and you give it a nice, slow, firm tug. Now the hardest part after you take all the tabs out from the side, all the way around, and even up to this point here, the middle part underneath here, in this area right here, there's a clip that's the hardest, so you have to give it a nice, good, gentle, firm tug. And then once it's all loose, then you go underneath this part here, and what I did was I pulled this out from underneath this piece. I'm gonna do the same in this area. Pull this part down, and thus loosening both sides. Now all you have to do after all this part is loose is to pull this whole panel up, because if you look from behind, this is where it sits. So you have to kind of like lift the whole plate out, and this whole piece just comes apart. As you can see, you got all these clips behind the door. There's a couple of pieces that got left behind. And they are right here. I'm taking these clips out with the handle part of my screwdriver, going behind the door and just pushing them out. There it goes. And I just put them back behind this piece here. It just slides through here. So it'll be ready for when we put the door back. So now that we got the panel out and we exposed the inner part of the tailgate, look onto the side of that door and you can see where the actuator is. So this is the part that we got that we're gonna be replacing this. And the first thing we need to do is to pull this connection out and then take this screw and that screw, loosen them up. Okay, so once you finish taking the screws out of here and here, where my thumb is and my index finger is, this thing comes off gently, and then this thing, you can remove this piece by pushing down on this plastic piece here on the top. You can just push it down. See how it just fell down? So if you push this piece down, it releases it. So just to show you how I unplugged this part, I had to push down on this piece here to unplug it from here. So I want to just show you guys how this actuator works. If I press on the lock, you hear it moving, but you don't really see this part moving. To unlock it, see, it doesn't really move either. So this is the old lock. I'm going to show you what the new lock looks like. So this is what the replacement actuator looks like, and I want to show you how this part here locks and unlocks the door. This is also one way for me to check and make sure that the part works before I install it. So to reinstall this part here, this part goes in like this, facing up. As you can remember, these are where the two screws were. And the trickiest part is to put this right over here. That little knob that sticks out there. Right there. In between this plate, you have to put this piece in there. And you can control it by moving this part up and down, or rather down and up. And it is tricky because you have to fit it in between this piece here. It goes behind this piece and inserts into this little knob here. So now, as you can see, I have positioned the part to go up. See where that white plastic piece with a hole to go into that little knob? So I am going to install it. Okay, 10 minutes later, after trial and error and wiggling back and forth, as you can see the part, I got that piece right there sitting with that little knob that sticks out of this plastic part. So just as a point of reference, that white piece that's sticking where the knob is, and this is the old part, is this green part here. So it goes right there. That piece. Next thing I have to do is I have to align this part, this piece, with this and this on the screw up here to reinstall it. Okay, so it was actually not this screw here, not this hole, but this hole over here. It made it easier to put back into place as I flip this one back down. As you can see, that plastic knob is under here now, so it's locked in place. Now I just have to align this part with this to put the screws back in. Okay, we're back another 10 minutes later. As you can see, I got that screw back in and that screw back into place. It was kind of difficult to get it back in there with such a tiny space to work with. Now I plugged the connector back in, and we're gonna test out the system before we reassemble everything. Okay, so here we are, unlocked. I'm gonna press the lock button and it's locked. We're gonna unlock it. Voila. Okay, we're trying to reinstall the back panel, and I put it at an angle about 30 degrees. I made sure this end pieces here go underneath this plastic piece here, and then I slide it up and down to try to fit this piece here under this lock part that's sticking out. So this piece is gonna go up and under this part. Now that we got it over that lock, that latch part, we just have to go back and push in all the side panels until you feel it click back into place. You hear all that clicking noise? It's just the pieces, the clips locking back into place. And we have to remember to put this piece back in here. And that, my friends, is how you do it. Peace out.